And so the other thing about an income that is basic when we're thinking about that sort of $500 or $1,000 a month amount is that it's not really enough to live well on. And this gets to the whole argument about whether it would erode the need for people to be working. So again, if you go back to this kind of question of whether you'd stop working if you were making $500 or $1,000 a month, the answer for most younger people is probably no. And we actually have great experimental evidence in this. We don't have to guess about it. There were a number of studies done between the late 60s and the early 1980s, the Simon Dime studies that were income support studies, as well as some studies that were done in Canada, in Manitoba. And so these were, the money was run through the tax code. It wasn't exactly a basic income, but it was pretty close. And what happened when people had these kind of income guarantees? It is true that some people stopped working, but when you looked at who stopped working, what did that actually look like? So first of all, it was in part a reduction in work effort as opposed to dropping out of the labor force. People just worked a little bit less. And maybe this is kind of un-American to say, but maybe that's not like the worst thing for some people, right? Like to have a little bit more time to spend with your family. The second thing was that the people who did stop working or delay working were mostly in 4 classes. So they were the parents of young children. They were older folks who stopped working as much or retired a little bit early. They were students who stayed in school for longer. And they were unemployed people who took longer finding a job while they were unemployed. That actually tends to improve the quality of job match, right? So those jobs are better. So you can look and you can say, wow, people will stop working if you give them some money, but when you actually look at the reasons that they stop working and the ways they stop working, it's hard to argue that that's not kind of socially beneficial and maybe something that in a really rich economy might be a sort of good thing.